Hashtag no music, no intro. Well. When I asked the football gods that all I wanted this season was for us to see the Saints win in person that Raiders game, bro, they said bet.
There you go.
it will be done. Monday Night Football is over. The Saints lose a game to the Ravens where they were never in the game. Not once were ever into the game. And I don't know, man. Like I felt like that hope was like percolating on the timeline all week, bro. I felt it, like I felt it, man. Like, and I was just like, y'all, like,
man, they got y'all, huh?
I wanted to save him, Ryan. I wanted to save him. I don't know. I don't know.
Get Debbie down at the same time. It's like
I don't know where the bus is going right now. The bus may be off the cliff. I don't know, man. But we could talk about the game because we need to talk about the game. Offense was dreadful. It was a very typical Saints offensive game when they typically play the Ravens. And we talked about this in the live stream that there are certain teams, even when Sean Payton was coaching the team, man. So that just had a way of just being able to just bully the Saints defensively. And we saw it tonight with the Ravens defense. How is Justin Houston? This man looked like Aaron Donald or looked like Von Miller in his prime. He looked like Justin Houston in his prime, bro. Like, what's going on?
I swear he was washed up like 5 years ago or something. Like,
can we test him? Can we PED test this motherfucker? Like, what
the hell?
I saw they put up the stats. He said 3 straight games with 2+ sacks, bro. 3 straight.
What is going on?
He was giving Ramczyk the work all game long. Everyone he lined up to, he gave him that work. They had the line. They traded for Roquan Smith right before the Saints game, so they had the perfect linebacker that could match up with AK. It was bad across the board. Although I will say, we talked about this again in the live stream. There's just this, unimagination, this lack of creativity going on with the offense. It's like, you have a defense that you're going against that's fast flowing, aggressive. At no point was it like some misdirection. At no point was like, maybe we could get 89 Shaheed on like a jet sweep, a drag route.
Something.
Like, something
cooked up,
And there are so many things that happen in this game where it's just like, fucking the player that the Saints traded up for in the draft can't tackle Lamar. He fucking grazes him on his helmets, falls off of him. And then, of course, in typical Marcus Davenport, in typical 2-1 fashion, can't finish the game. Don't finish the game. And we didn't harp about it too much on the preview show because I was preaching about Michael Thomas, but here's the issue with the team, right? The biggest issue with this team is this team does not know how to self-scout itself. It goes back a little bit to the offseason in which they felt, at the time they felt that they could contend in the NFC, which is funny because like they didn't even think the NFC, like no one knew the NFC was going to be this shit as it's been. They thought they could contend with the NFC. You trade a future first round pick. You thought you could do something with Jameis. You had a talented team, and then what happens before the season? Oh, you trade CD Deuce, and the players get hurt, and just bad coaching. So that in itself was kind of a misevaluation of where they really were. Right. Which now the Eagles have a top 10 pick in the draft next year thanks to the Saints. But it's also the self-scouting of getting back to the whole 2-1 thing. You had an opportunity last week to trade Marcus Davenport, to trade him. And I'm guessing, like, I know his trade value wasn't high, but you still had a chance to trade him, get back draft capital. I won't go say you get a second, but maybe you get a third, or maybe you get a third this year and a fourth next year, or maybe someone was desperate enough to give you a second. The Rams are shit, but we've seen desperate teams, the Saints do desperate things. Maybe the Rams would have given you a second. Yeah. And yet for you to just be like, man, we just beat the Raiders 24-0. We about to run this shit, be in the playoffs, be the NFC South champions. We keeping all our players. It's just bad self-scouting, man. That to me is one of the biggest issues the team has.
Yeah, and it seems like it's been that way for a long time, even under Sean Payton.
Yes.
Like they just never could take advantage of knowing when to. Because it's weird. It's like they'll trade a player like C. Deuce for nothing, and actually create a hole on the team. You know what I'm saying? But meanwhile, you have a player like Davenport who won't be here next year. He's been underwhelming. And, you got a chance to clear that money just off the books. You know what I'm saying? I know he's going to carry some dead money, but you get to clear it off the books eventually.
And get some picks.
And get some draft picks that you sorely need because you don't have any. It's like what's going on here, bro? It's like, who's running this thing? Who is running it? Like, are they surrounded by yes men? Does anybody say, like, no, maybe we should do this? Like,
Kai, can you speak up in a meeting, Kai? I know they probably don't listen to you. You're the only brother in there. Can you say something? Can you wave a sign?
Kai, man, look, I like my job. I got my Excel spreadsheets, my algorithm.
Man got the Kelly Rowland on his phone, bro. Got the sidekick, got the Excel on it, just mash
the Excel cells on there, man.
Man, match them numbers, bro. To me, the question of the season, and I said it towards the end of the live stream, the question of the season is the direction of this team going forward ties to what happens with DA or not. The rest of the I'm not gonna say the rest of the season doesn't matter, but to me, the rest of the season really doesn't matter because the biggest fucking question is what do they do with DA after this season?
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Period, bro. Because it's like, okay, say they bring him back. Say the Saints finish. Say they win 6 games.
6 and 10.
6 and 10. What are you doing? Tell me the reason you're bringing DA back.
You can't hang your hat on defense. You can't say the defense is great. And I get it, right? There's been injuries, blah blah. And it's funny, and
that's it really has been some injuries, bro.
It's been some whopper of some injuries. Now we're not even talking about this game that P. Warner gets hurt. Marshawn's been hurt. But it kind of goes back to your point, though, of your question of what is really happening? How do you have players that have missed 4, 5+ games and they don't go to IR?
It's been so weird all year. I've never seen it where players are practicing, then they're not practicing. They'll be limited in practice Wednesday, and then do not practice on Thursday. Or, they'll be looking like they're coming back, but then they're not coming back, but then they go to IR. It's I've never seen it like this year where you really don't have no idea. We don't know what's going on with Marshawn. People he should be back. Bro, Marshawn Lattimore could be on IR next week. We don't know.
Man might be on a ventilator right now. We don't know, bro.
Respirator, bro.
It's you and I talked about. I mean, you brought up in the Discord about the team needs a top 10 quarterback, and I said, man, give me top 15. Like top 10 that's a high bar. That's a high bar to set.
So, I'm not. It's hard to find, bro.
I remember we had this conversation prior to like during the off season before like free agency started. I think it was, and it was like, man, like I was like, would you give up something for Kirk Cousins? Like I know he's Kirk Cousins, but like, would you give up something? And you were like, nah. But I would love Kirk Cousins on this fucking team. Right now, bro.
You hear me?
Starving out here, bro.
Oh.
So I think that just goes to show when you have very subpar quarterback play, like even like and Kirk, the Vikings are like what 6-1 right now,
Yeah.
like 7-1. They're 7-1 right now, like Kirk Cousins has something to do with that. And to your point, though, I really feel that the two things that need to be solved, and I know it's asking for a lot, bro. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but they got to somehow, I'm not saying you even have to, there needs to be a plan A and a plan B in regards to fixing the quarterback situation on this team. That's a must. Like you have your number one plan, whatever that is, if you're trying to trade for someone or whatever, that's fine. But like if that falls through, then you got to have a plan B. That has to be fixed. And then Mark said it in our live stream of just like, what is the identity of this team? And I thought it was such a great question because, man, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
Nothing. Couldn't tell you at all. It's not a defensive team. Offense really has no identity to it. It's just blah. It's blah.
It's just milquetoast, bro. Just like in the middle, bro. Just
it's like a malaise.
And the thing is, though, there's some foundation pieces on the team that are that's the thing that like, bruh, Alontae Taylor made a play in tonight's game that just an insane fucking play for a cornerback to be covering that long, stride for stride. I get it, he's older, but that's still Deshaun Jackson, and for him to break up that pass, like that was insane, like an insane play by him. AK still AK. Pete Warner, yes, he got hurt, but Pete Warner's had an outstanding season. Like you have pieces.
DeMario is still insane.
Marshawn, yes, he's hurt, but you got Marshawn was playing at a very high level for a cornerback before he got hurt. You got pieces on the team, and it's just like you just gotta put it together, and that's what's missing. I've been saying it for weeks, man. Like said it after week 2. Like the whole DA thing just felt shitty. Bro, it just felt shitty.
It was.
And go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was trying to find a tweet. Jay Mood tweeted earlier. It was succinct as you could say it, man. Like I was just like straight like that, bro. He said the whole idea behind keeping Dennis Allen was predicated on the belief that the roster was good and he'd keep the team competitive. Since he's unable to do that, he needs to go. Period. Like that's just to me, that should be put on the presentation in Loomis's office. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like PowerPoint, bro.
Like him and Gail just need to read that shit. It's like, tell me how that's wrong. Like, explain to me how that statement is wrong. It's like you brought him back because the roster was talented, and because he's been a part of the winning culture, he'd be able to steer that ship and keep this team good. He hasn't.
Hasn't.
He hasn't.
Every time he's in an interview or just they go to the sideline, man, that man just look lost, Ryan. He looked like he's lost. Lost. The crazy thing is, I know we're piling on DA and piling on the defense, and they deserve it. First of all, offense really lost this game for the team. Pete Carmichael had an awful game, and some of it was just they got bullied, right? They got bullied up front, and that kind of throws some shit off. But I don't think the play calling helped a lot.
Sean Payton even talked about it on the Manicast. He's like, Ravens just always been one of those teams they struggle with. It's
them, the Niners, and for a while they're the Bears, bro. They just beat up the Saints.
Just beat them up, man. Just beat them up, and then the Saints offensively, bro. It's like you said, we saw it, just in the first few series. It was like this offense ain't gonna have an answer. It just won't have an answer. You got to nut up against the Ravens, bro.
That's why that 2018 game was so big against the Ravens in Baltimore, bruh. Because it was you could if you just go back and watch that.
First time they beat them.
It's the first time Drew beat him too, and you just go back and watch that game. It was just body, each team was throwing body blows, bro.
So physical, bro.
Oh man, about to start to talk about 2018 and can't get a little upset. Because so many things went right that season, bro.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so I don't think Pete Carmichael had a great game calling the game. We're talking about building foundation pieces. Completely left out Chris Olave, who,
oh my
god, not enough adjectives we could describe it. Just how good he is. But seeing Andy Dalton miss that touchdown pass to Marquez Callaway, bro,
man,
in a game like this. I was like, all right.
That's
all right.
That's just bad, bro.
Bad, man.
All the tip passes at the line. The offense is condensed.
Oh, that's a great word. A great word to describe it, man.
It's just condensed when he's out there because. I don't know. I don't know if that's the, just the design of it or it's the playmakers. Missing some players and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. It's just you never just got the feeling we're bringing it to the defense. It's defense is imposing their will on us.
They were, and as much as the defense has taken dramatic steps back this season, for the first 3.5 quarters, the defense was trying, bro. They was trying to hold on.
But you saw when you saw that time possession started to get flipped, it's okay.
Oh,
we know how this story goes.
Yes,
we've seen this.
Someone, and there are great points made all throughout the live stream. One of my friends sent me a text, and I think Brian said in our live stream as well, is that how does a player, or how do the Ravens, and does Lamar have more emotion for a fucking delay a game when a game that was pretty at that point mightily in hand than anyone else besides maybe AK on the sideline?
Wow,
had the whole game, bruh.
Man, that is a good point, bro.
Ain't that some telling shit?
It's they just looking at the whole Ravens unit, you just looked outclassed. It's just from the coaching on down to the players.
And that's bro. When I saw
you just see all the passion, Marcus Peters.
Yes,
and they sitting there winning,
bro. And we getting beat at home and
we just walking out there on offense, just la la. Pew, pew, pew.
It goes back to the top, bro. That is 100% a coaching thing.
What they say, the team embodies
The head
the
coach,
mentality of the head coach.
100%.
And we've seen that. Like when Sean Payton was on them Zans, and man, this team was crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Just confident, arrogant, played with that edge, knew they was the shit. Like, I'm not saying bring Sean back. I know some people are like, man, don't bring him back. Like, I want a clean slate. Man, Sean Payton want to come back for 25, 30 mil. Man, you bring Sean back, bro. Bring Sean back.
I'm just saying, he still say we when he talk about the Saints.
Although he said that shit about, Lamar gonna be a free agent. I might be a free agent at the same time.
That's the shit that make me want to just smack the shit out of him. Just smack the shit out of Sean.
Man, I know Connor Payton listened to our podcast. Man, we were trying to get Connor Payton on, bro, but he probably heard us talking about his dad like this. He said, "Man, I can't go on this show."
I'm sorry, Connor. That's true.
Can't go chop it up with these dudes. Nigga out here talking about my dad.
Man. You know you want to do it too.
Oh, bro. That's why I wanted to talk to Connor, bro, because I'm sure he has some stories of being fucking Sean Payton's son, bro.
What are you doing, Dad?
A tight end reverse? Did y'all hear that? You said it perfectly. And again, I saw on the timeline, I saw like that hope, and I was like I thought all week, man, this is going up a weight class, bro. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just kept saying, like, bro, Ravens, like, even when they're not winning, is like, they're good this year, but even like last year when their record on is good, like, man, this a top echelon team. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and they have been ran that way for 15. Bro, when I saw the fucking stat that fucking John Harbaugh's been the head coach of the Ravens for 15 years, I said, man, what?
Yeah.
Shit.
It's 15 years, bro.
How many wins does this team have, bro?
What the schedule look like, bro?
They got the Steelers next week. And I said, want to be some shit, bro. Like, Kenny Pickett been playing shit all fucking season. Like,
get his get right game.
Man, if he go out there and fucking put it on DA's defense, bro, I'm done. You got the Steelers in Pittsburgh. You got the Rams at home, 49ers in San Fran, Bucks in Tampa.
Jesus.
Home game against the Falcons. Cleveland in Cleveland, Eagles in Philly, and then close out the season, Panthers at home in New Orleans.
Man. Bro,
Man, I could confidently maybe say they beat the Panthers.
Can you? Well, I guess at that point they'd be trying to.
Bro, like that's the only game I could be like, oh, they could probably beat them, but like any other ones I just named, yeah, I don't know, bro.
Yeah, man, it 6 wins, bro.
I think 6 is the best case scenario, bro. I would say I'm going 5. I think they'll win 5.
They'll win 5?
I think they'll
win 5 games. DA gotta go, right? I mean, he gotta go, bro.
He gotta go, man. But I don't want to put this out there, bro. I want to put it out there.
It's not like he's a first-time head coach. Like, we've seen, he's been a terrible coach before. Give him the pass.
Proof is in the pudding. Listen, if and I'm not saying that they're going to do this, but the same kind of conversation that we're having about DA, I know Mark Davis is having about Josh McDaniels right now.
Oh, yeah. No question.
And if Mark Davis decides to fire Josh McDaniels after one season, and if the Saints bring DA back, we got. I don't know if it's a petition. I don't know if we got to do a like a million man march on airline, bro. We got.
They done got Frank Reich out there. I don't know what's going on in Indianapolis.
You know, man, that's the old. I mean, you know what it is, right? You know, it's the loophole to the Rooney Rule.
Yeah.
It is like you can pick who you want to be as your head coach, and not have to comply with the Rooney Rule when you're naming someone interim, bruh.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Because then all you have to do is just take the interim tag off of him, and he just becomes the head coach.
Not just to me, just getting rid of Frank Reich. I just thought that was interesting.
But I understand.
I get it.
I tweeted it because I saw so many people like, oh, the Colts are doing Frank Reich. Man, he had his hand in picking Carson Wentz and giving up a first for Carson Wentz. And then that didn't work. And then I remember when that trade didn't work, or when the Carson Wentz trade didn't work. And I remember Shane P. Hallam on Draft Countdown was trying to praise the Colts for like not doing the fucking fantasy costs. And I was like you can praise them to an extent, but they still gave up a first round pick for Carson Wentz. But it was just like, oh, they're just, you know, Chris Ballard. Like the love affest for the Colts these last couple of years just
the Chris Ballard is just
Chris Ballard. And like me and Shane got into it, but I was like, bro, they traded a first for fucking Carson Wentz. Like that's bad business. Like, period. And
you know what? I mean, we are the Colts now. Like when you don't have a quarterback, you just see where like it's just you're desperate, bro.
I think
you're throwing flowers at anything, man.
I don't think the Colts is an accurate description. I would say, and keep in mind it hasn't worked out for them, but I think they're probably more closer to like the Broncos of how they were.
Oh, no question.
Like because I think the Saints have more talent on their team than the Colts, but they're still stuck in this malaise where. And listen, man, we saw the Broncos do it, and I was wrong. Like Russ is cooked. Russ is done. Russ is ungood.
And that's like to give up not only the picks but the money.
The money, and
the money is the killer.
The money's the killer because he is like you fucked. Like the picks, and they even kind of like not made up for it, but at least they got a first round back for Bradley Chubb.
Yeah, for Chubb. Yeah,
but like that contract though, ooh, bro, that is nasty work. Like you stuck. So that's where the kind of like, man, and it's the hardest thing to do in football. It's the hardest thing to do is getting the coach right and getting the quarterback right. And here I was last night, and I'm not bringing it back to this. I'm not because it's funny because I had to tweet our What If Saints Dynasty episode because Rob had tweeted how poetic is it that the player that the Saints traded up for in the draft like can't like whiffs on a tackle on the player that they passed. Like it's poetic, bro. And I quote tweeted it and I put our episode we did in 2021 about the Saints dynasty that wasn't. So just watching Sunday Night Football last night, man, it was so funny because like the Titans was doing everything that the Ravens was doing to the Saints in this game, bro.
Yeah.
Physical, just bullying them, bro. Just winning the line of scrimmage, just taking everything away. And at some point in the game, 15 said, we ain't losing today. Ain't losing, bro. He's like, if throwing's not working, well, when I can escape the pocket and go out to the right and just scramble, like this, like, he threw the ball like 68 times last night, right?
Times, bro.
But like when the lights were shining and the team needed to win or they needed him, he put the cape on. And that's what he's done his whole career, man. So finding the guy is hard.
Ooh.
And you have to have conviction with it can't be you can't be milquetoast. And that's why I get the Broncos they fucked it up. But like I appreciate like the gusto because like you have to go for it, man. You do. I
mean, look at what happened with us with Drew Brees. Like that was pure luck, bro.
Luck.
Pure luck. You get a dude.
I wanted Matt Leinart, Ryan. I wanted Matt Leinart.
Man, Leinart. Man, I was like, man, can we get Vince Young up in there? You know what I'm saying? It was like, and to get a dude coming off an injury who before that was, pretty much like an Andy Dalton type quarterback. He was a fine game managing quarterback, coming off a terrible injury. And for like him for that to happen was just like it just never happened again. It'll never happen.
Never.
Again.
Ever. You won't see it. You won't see it.
So they just got to figure out how to, okay, you're not going to find another Drew Brees. You're probably not going to find another top 5, top 3 quarterback that's going to the Hall of Fame. But can you find Matt Stafford?
Man, even Matt Stafford was drafted first overall.
I know, that's the thing. And how much was it to trade for him? They gave up, 2 firsts?
Shit, was it? Did they give him 2 firsts?
Or was it a first and a second? I can't remember.
It was like a first and a second.
Okay.
And I'm not saying Matt Stafford is like, I'm not saying he's like great or like the best or anything, but like I still remember that debate on fucking Twitter that people were like, don't trade it first for Matt Stafford. Like, we got Jameis. I was like, are y'all smoking crack? Are y'all just dope? Just dope, bro. Like, we did a whole podcast episode on it.
Oh, man, I remember that shit.
Yeah. Here's my question to you. I want to do 2 things real quick. I want to give some love to Peyton Turner. Yeah. Actually had a pretty decent game today. Man, he had a pretty decent game tonight.
2 weeks in a row.
Yes. Also, like if you watched the game when Davenport went out the game, so the Ravens was just kind of crashing their runs to the left side when Davenport was in the game. Brian just kept crashing them. He wasn't containing the edge. Like that's why so many of those runs went out. It's like, man, like that was like your one saving grace was just being a good run stopper. If you wasn't rushing the passer, now you can't fucking just stop the run. So they put Zach Bond, bruh. Zach Bond went out there and did a better job holding up, setting the edge on the left side than
Ain't that something?
Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit?
That something?
We're not gonna keep this as a long episode. We want to relive all of it. Gonna be a long season, guys. There's still like 8 days left. Some shit, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long one, man.
I'm upset for the city. I'm upset for like the fans, and because someone said it perfectly, man. If you're gonna be bad, can you just be like entertaining and bad? But like seeing this like continually, it's just like ugh.
It's just I hate that feeling though when, especially on offense, when like the score was like 17-3, but it felt like 38-3. And I hate that feeling offensively when it's like, damn, man, like, can we score like a touchdown? Like, I hate that feeling, bro. Like, especially coming from a team that had so much offense for years, I just hate that shit. Like, I hate that feeling as a fan to feel like you can't put up points. You know what I'm saying?
It's as a fan, it's a shitty feeling to fucking have, man. Because it's like it just feels helpless.
Yeah.
Because at no point do you.
Because like the defense, defense gets 3 and out. It's like okay. Like okay, now what? You know what I'm saying?
What? Do you? And I'm gonna ask it. You might not have an answer for it. How would you address the quarterback situation and the head coaching situation for this team?
Man, that's gonna be a big podcast. Podcast coming, We're gonna have time for that, bro, because that's gonna be some big thing. Like that's gonna be like a big project. Especially depends on what this team does. But I just say, like, man, the Saints really need to, like, right now, be doing homework on head coaches, on potential
Please.
head coaches, doing homework. Who's out there? I mean, think outside the box, man, but not too far outside the box to where you just doing something goofy like Jeff Saturday or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
I want to give credit to a team that I kind of shit on. Well, I can still shit on from their offseason that they had because they traded for child abuser. Didn't like Mike McDaniels as a head coach, bruh. Didn't think it would work out. And honestly, I watched quite a bit of the Dolphins game yesterday against the Bears. I watched Miami here and there, like off and on. Man, sometimes he be calling some better play calls than Kyle Shanahan, bro.
Right. Cooking. I mean, they always say he was like the secret sauce. Kyle Shanahan. I mean, he's cooking, bro.
And bro, every time they show up on the sideline, bro. I always yell out, "Look at my black head coach!"
My black head coach.
Every time, bro. Every fucking time.
And you know what? One thing I like about him is he's very self-aware, bro. He knows he's awkward. He knows nobody would have probably viewed him as a leader of men and all that stuff.
I didn't, bro. I didn't. Yeah. And I remember, like, me and Greg was like, me and Greg got into it, but we had like a good discussion. And listen, was wrong. I'm saying this to say, like you said, who is the next Mike McDaniels?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't.
We didn't know Sean Payton would be Sean Payton. You don't.
Correct. Right.
But they got to do their homework. Like, that's their job. Like, I can't do the job for them. That's their job.
Not touching it, bro.
They got to figure that shit out. I would like an offensive head coach.
Yes.
Just because the game today is an offensive-driven game. And I just think offensive coaches in general are just a little bit more progressive in their thinking. But honestly, beyond that, you also want somebody who can, like, understand a team and build a team and run a team. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a lot of work doing. And, man, that's what they need to be doing. Like, they need to be uncovering every rock and cranny. I don't care who it is, old coaches, young coaches, up and coming, whatever. They need to be studying that now. And obviously doing the homework on quarterbacks. Who can you get? And you need to come up with a priority list from top to bottom how you can improve your quarterback position. I don't know what the Davis Mills is.
Right.
Bro, I'm just saying, like, those are the type of options you're going to be sitting with. Like, there aren't going to be great options. There aren't going to be any great options.
Can't believe I'm about to say this, bro. Can't believe I'm about to fucking say this on this podcast. This is how you know how dire shit is. Where would this team be if Jimmy G was the quarterback right now?
Bruh.
like the Jimmy G we've seen this season, like a healthy Jimmy G.
You know who's going to be fascinating?
Talk to me.
Like, what does Geno Smith market look like? That's going to be some fascinating shit.
I had this conversation with a friend a couple of weeks ago. I think he gets like a Jameis type of contract, bro.
You think so?
I think so.
From the Seahawks?
Yes. I think he gets like a Jameis type of contract where it's like, we'll pay you kind of like placeholder quarterback. Because, see, I mean, Geno can't go in and like demand like a Russell Wilson contract or anything like that. So I think that's kind of like the happy medium for both sides. Like, Geno's getting his money, and he's getting quote unquote quarterback money, and then also the Seahawks are protecting themselves just in case this is like just a 1-year fluke, right? But to your point though, like I want to see them do something like you said, identify a quarterback, identify a head coach. I can't believe I said it, bro. Like Jimmy G would be okay. And I'm not, and that just feels like a retread, right? Because that just feels like just going back. You're not fine. Like, what would it take? Well, shit, they just beat your ass. Well, how about you call Baltimore and see what they would give up? Well, what they would want for Huntley?
Yeah. Huh?
Like that's like the out of kind of box thinking like that they got to do. The one player that I thought they had a chance at maybe getting in the offseason if things went to shit was maybe they could pry Justin Fields out of Chicago. But nah, man,
No.
The game he played against the Dolphins on Sunday, bro. That was some, like, I know they didn't win, bro, but that was some special shit. Like, he's one of the best rushing quarterbacks I have seen.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like, the Miami defense had no answers for him. None. Anything they tried to do, it didn't work.
So okay, we're looking at veterans, but then you got to go to the, what college is putting out. I mean, I haven't done any work whatsoever on that. Then we don't have picks, but we could potentially have picks with the Sean Payton trade and all that stuff. So that's also going to have to be a lot of work done. I don't know if they have it in them to even draft a rookie quarterback. But obviously, if a new head coach comes in, like, that's going to be his purview. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to have to make that decision. Does he want to go that route or does he want to go the veteran route? Because if that's the case, you get a rookie, and then you you bring back Dalton or you bring back Jameis or whoever, and then eventually.
I feel like just Groundhog Day, bro.
Groundhog Day, bro. Oh, Lord. But you got your rookie, and then your rookie get in there, and then it's starting over. But then you got this roster, and it's like, fuck.
It's a really shitty, like, kind of in between, right?
It's
where
so
you have
because the roster is good, not great.
They're good, maybe not Super Bowl good, but like could they
you could quickly turn it around, like a good quarterback.
Oh my god, real quick. Like if you
took I'm trying to think. Well, shit, you just said it, Kirk Cousins. Like if you took Kirk Cousins and just flopped him on the roster,
playoff team,
and Kirk Cousins and Sean Payton,
man,
that's a playoff team, bro.
They can get to the divisional round, bro. Yeah. Anyway, it's fun. It's fun to talk about, but it all goes back to what I said at the beginning of this podcast: is what the decision they make on DA. That's it. Because anything other than that kind of really doesn't matter. Because if they choose to bring DA back, pain, bruh. And I put it on our Instagram. Like, we had no idea when Jameis gave that interview in the week one, bro. It was going to be the motto for the rest of the
whole season, bro. Just pain everywhere.
Pain everywhere. Just pain everywhere. Anyway, truly thank all of y'all for still sticking with us and listening and supporting us. We know our listenership drops when the Saints lose. We get it. We did get a good bump after the Raiders win, which was good. But we get it, right? Because we used to be those fans that didn't listen to fucking podcasts after the Saints lost. So we understand it. But for those who continue to listen, continue to download, continue to support us, thank y'all so much. For those who continue to be Patreons, even though the Saints aren't good, and just being part of the community, like truly thank y'all. Because like this is the easy time where you can be like, man, I ain't giving no one my money about for the Saints. I ain't listening to nothing. But yet we still get about a good like 15, sometimes 1,600 listens, which is impressive. Even when the team isn't doing well. But just know when you listen to us, as always, you're gonna get it real, man. We don't gonna sugarcoat shit. Just give it to you real, because that's, as fans, that's what I want. I mean, I'm a fan, so I want to hear real shit. Like, don't sugarcoat it for me. Like, tell me what the real deal is. Tell me what the real shit is. And so that's what you're gonna get with us always. Is just the real shit of it all. So thank y'all. We will be back on I guess Wednesday to do the Steelers preview pod, and it's gonna be a short week. They played on Monday night, and they got to get ready and turn around and go to Pittsburgh on Sunday and get ready for the Steelers, man. I'm just gonna say it right now. TJ Watt's probably gonna play miraculously somehow, and he's gonna go against Ramczyk, and it's gonna be a long game, bro.
Is TJ Watt gonna play?
I just you know how players get before they. I feel it, bro. I just feel it in my bones. Man. Like, you get that. You see that Adam Schefter tweet this week saying the Steelers have opened up the return window on TJ Watt.
Oh Lord.
Just say it, bro. Anyway, we will talk about the Steelers game Wednesday night. Thank y'all for the support. We appreciate y'all so much. With that, we're out.
Peace.
When Shopify says you can sell anywhere, they mean it. Woo, hold up. Just got a new sale. Order fulfilled and shipped. Inventory level's good. Whoa, Shopify doesn't mind if you're at sea level. Or on top of the world. You can run and grow your business anywhere. Climbing mountains is never easy, but at least Shopify gives me all the tools I need for my business to hit new peaks!
Whether you're selling carabiners or crop tops, start selling with Shopify today and join the platform simplifying commerce for millions of businesses worldwide. We've built the platform so you can keep climbing and grow your business to new heights.
With Shopify, you really can sell to anyone, from anywhere.
This is Possibility, powered by Shopify. Start selling online today. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/free22. 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 Internet connection required. Not available on mountaintops or seafloors.